Good morning, students. Students, as we are discussing tissues in this chapter, and in the previous video, we discussed about various types of plant tissues. Students, in this chapter or in today's video, we are going to discuss a new kind of tissue, and the tissue is animal tissue. Okay, students, I want to tell you one thing that based on the functions they perform, the animal tissues have been classified into four different types. Means the function which they are performing on the basis of it कि क्या काम कोई टिश्यू कर रहा है इसके बेसिस पे tissues are classified into four different types. Now what are these tissues? The first one is epithelial tissue. ठीक है. Now epithelial tissue main function is to provide protection. ठीक है. It provides protection to our internal organs from the external injuries, shocks, jerks. It also helps in the secretion, means the things which are going to secrete out or release out, like our sweat gland is releasing sweat. This is the process of secretion. This helps takes place with the help of the epithelial tissue. Similarly, the gastric gland is releasing gastric juice. This is the process of secretion and takes place with the help of the epithelial tissue. Similarly, the third one process function is absorption. Absorption means absorption of various things like your alimentary canal. The food is going to be absorbed. This is taking place with the help of the epithelial tissue. Now the second kind of tissue, which is called muscular tissue, and the muscular tissue helps in the locomotion or movement. Means it helps a living organism to change its position or to move its body parts. While the third tissue is called connective tissue. Now, as its name is suggesting, connective tissue helps in the connecting of things or binding of things, ठीक है, or supporting things, ठीक है, or transportation of things. These are the various functions, ठीक है, like support, like cartilage and bone are here, which are supporting body, ठीक है. Binding means there are tendons, ligaments which are helping to bind bone to bone, muscle to bone, मतलब ये binding में help कर रहे हैं. Now transportation, now blood है, lymph है, it helps in the transportation of the various things, as you know, as we discussed earlier also. Okay, the last one tissue is called nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is basically responsible for control and coordination. Now students, I want to discuss that what is control and coordination. Now control and coordination means the nervous tissue helps to detect the stimuli either in the internal atmosphere as well as the external environment of the living organism's body, and then according to the stimulus it also helps to provide response, ठीक है, by the living organisms. Now these four tissues are further classified into various subtypes. Initially I am going to discuss epithelial tissue. Now based on the shape on as well as the function, the epithelial tissue is classified into five types. The first one is squamous, the second one is cuboidal, third one is columnar, fourth one is glandular, and the fifth one is ciliated. What are these? We will discuss them later on in the next videos, or while I will discuss in brief, then I will tell you about their function, their structure. And the second type of tissue is muscular tissue, and muscular tissue, I think most probably you have been studied in the previous classes too. Muscular tissues are of three different types, ठीक है. These are striated, these are unstriated, or these are cardiac, ठीक है. Striated are also called as skeletal, unstriated are also called as smooth, and the third one are cardiac, ठीक है. Similarly, the connective tissue is also further divided into five different types, ठीक है. Areolar connective tissue, dense regular. Now dense regular is once again divided into two types, tendons and ligaments, ठीक है. Now third one is adipose connective tissue. The fourth one is skeletal tissue. Now skeletal tissue is of two different types, bones and cartilage. Similarly, the last one, fluid connective tissue. Fluid connective tissue is of two types, blood as well as lymph, ठीक है. So these are the various types of different types of animal tissues. Now I'm going to start the very first one, epithelial tissue. I want to give a little bit introduction today, and what are their various types I will discuss in tomorrow's video. So I'm going to start what is epithelial tissue. Now epithelial tissue is a simplest tissue. ये बहुत ही simple tissue होता है, and it provides protection, covering, forming a continuous sheet on most organs and cavities within the body. तो जनरली ये एक प्रोटेक्टिव कवरिंग सिंथेसाइज करता है, जनरेट करता है, एक कंटिन्यूस सीट बनाता है सेल्स की, जो जो मोस्टली ज़्यादातर ऑर्गन्स के बाहर होती हैं, जो बॉडी कैविटीज़ होती हैं, इनमें प्रेजेंट होती है. सपोज यू आर टचिंग योर स्किन, दिस इज़ द example of epidermal tissue, or it is the example of the epithelial tissue. ठीक है, skin which you are touching outside. Similarly, if you will touch the oral cavity with your tongue, this is a body cavity, and this is also made up of the lining of the cavity is also made up of epithelial tissue. ठीक है. Now these cells are closely packed and without intercellular space. Now one more characteristic feature of this tissue is कि इस टिश्यू को बनाने वाली जो सेल्स हैं ये बहुत ही टाइटली पैक होती हैं, मतलब इनके बीच में ना के बराबर इंटरसेलुलर स्पेस होता है. इट फॉर्म्स अ बैरियर टू कीप डिफरेंट बॉडी सिस्टम्स सेपरेट. ठीक है, ये एक बैरियर का काम करती हैं जो आपके बॉडी सिस्टम को अदर सिस्टम से क्या करती हैं, सेपरेट करती हैं. द स्किन, द लाइनिंग ऑफ द माउथ, द लाइनिंग ऑफ द ब्लड वेसल्स, लंग एलोविली, किडनी ट्यूब्यूल्स, all the structures are made up of this epithelial tissue. Now all epithelium is usually separated from underlying tissue by an extracellular fibrous basement membrane. One more point be noted, जहाँ पर भी आपको epithelial tissue मिलेगा तो ये अदर बॉडी ऑर्गन्स के साथ या अदर टिश्यूज़ के साथ इस सेपरेशन होता है. सेपरेशन के लिए इसके पास क्या होती है, एक बेसमेंट मेम्ब्रेन होती है, यानी इस टिश्यू के बेस पे एक मेम्ब्रेन होती है. दिस इज कॉल्ड extracellular fibrous basement membrane. Now बात आती functions की. As we already discussed most of the functions, epithelial cells protect the underlying cells from drying, injury, bacterial or viral infections and from harmful effect of the chemicals. यानी epithelial cells जो हैं ये अंडरलाइंग यानी इसके अंदर की जो सेल्स हैं इन्हें ड्राई होने से बचाती हैं, इंजुरी से बचाती हैं, बैक्टीरियल और वायरल इन्फेक्शन से बचाती हैं, या किसी हार्मफुल इफ़ेक्ट, कोई केमिकल हार्मफुल इफेक्ट ना डाल दे अंदर अंडरलाइंग ऑर्गन्स की सेल्स पे, उससे बचाती हैं. इनसाइड द बॉडी एपिथेलियल सेल्स फॉर्म द लाइनिंग ऑफ द माउथ एंड एलिमेंट्री कैनाल एंड प्रोटेक्ट दीज ऑर्गन्स. इसके अलावा जो इनर लाइनिंग है, नाउ यू आर ओपनिंग योर माउथ एंड विद योर टंग यू आर टचिंग द सरफेस. दिस सरफेस इज द इनर लाइनिंग ऑफ योर माउथ. सिमिलरली आपकी एलिमेंट्री कैनाल की जो इनर लाइनिंग है, दिस इज ऑल्सो मेड अप ऑफ एपिथेलियल टिश्यू. ठीक है, एंड दिस एपिथेलियल टिश्यू प्रोवाइड्स और प्रोटेक्ट्स these organs. ठीक है. थर्ड, epithelial tissue help in the absorption of water and nutrients. As we know that the inner lining is made up of the epithelial tissue, तो डेफिनेटली जो फूड एब्जॉर्ब हो रहा है, वाटर एब्जॉर्ब हो रहा है, इसका एब्जॉर्प्शन भी कौन करेगा, एपिथेलियल टिश्यूज़ करेंगे. इट हेल्प्स इन द एलिमिनेशन ऑफ द वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट्स. इसके अलावा जो वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट है इन्हीं से सिक्रेट होते हैं, इन्हीं से बाहर रिलीज होते हैं, तो इनके रिमूवल में भी मदद करती हैं. नाउ some epithelial tissues secrete a variety of substances such as sweat, saliva, enzymes, etc. as I already explained. ठीक है. Now the sixth, epithelium forming the lungs alveoli allow the diffusion of the gases between the blood and alveolar sac or alveolar air. ठीक है. इसके अलावा आपने देखा होगा लंग्स की जो इनर सरफेस है, द इनर मोस्ट सरफेस ऑफ द लंग्स इज एल्वियोली. ठीक है, एल्वियोली ओपन्स इनटू द एल्वियोलर सैक्स. तो एल्वियोलर सैक्स में आपका क्या होता है, यही आपका एपिथेलियल टिश्यू होता है जो ब्लड और लंग्स के बीच में गैसियस एक्सचेंज में भी हेल्प करता है. सो these are the various points related to the structure of the epithelial tissue and their function. ठीक है, this is enough for today. Tomorrow once again I will meet you and I will discuss the various types of epithelial tissue. Till then, thank you and bye.